Model updates can silently break prompts that worked last week. Regression suites make those breaks visible before production. This AiQualtest episode gives product, engineering, risk, and quality teams a practical, vendor-neutral playbook for AI regression testing in 2026. Use a simple operating loop: baseline, diff, gate, and ship. That loop keeps conversations concrete when stakeholders disagree about quality or risk. Why this matters: enterprises ship prompts, tools, and retrieval configs as often as code. Without regression baselines, quality slips look like random user complaints. A disciplined AI regression practice protects release confidence and audit trails. Enterprises shipping AI into banking, insurance, healthcare, and digital operations cannot rely on hallway demos. Buyers, auditors, and internal second-line risk partners ask for repeatable methods, version artifacts, and clear ownership. If you cannot explain how you tested and what evidence you keep, you do not have AI quality, you have optimism. Core concepts come next. Do not memorize jargon, operationalize each idea into cases, metrics, and gates. Concept 1: Golden Baselines. Freeze known good inputs and expected behaviors as versioned baselines. Compare every candidate change against that fixed set. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 2: Behavioral diffs. Score not only exact text match but task success, safety, and schema compliance. Surface meaningful deltas, not noise. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 3: Change attribution. Tag failures to prompt, model, tool, or data changes. Faster triage means shorter rollback cycles. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 4: Severity gating. Block releases on critical regressions, allow non-blocking warnings with owners. Gates encode risk appetite. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 5: Sweet slicing. Run fast smoke packs on every PR and deeper packs nightly. Cost control without losing coverage. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Concept 6: Flake control. Stabilize temperature, seeds, and judges so flakes do not erode trust in the suite. In practice, treat this as a measurable property: define what good looks like, attach evidence, and track it across model, prompt, data, and tooling changes. Here is a real-world pattern. Setting: regional bank deploying a customer support copilot under model risk oversight. After a vendor model bump, tone stayed fine but fee explanations started omitting required disclosures. The regression suite flagged disclosure failures on the gold set before Canary. Risk and QA reviewed the diff pack, rolled back the model pin, and filed evidence for the model risk committee. The next release required disclosure checks as a hard gate. Notice the pattern: define scope, run controlled tests, capture evidence, decide with named owners, and feed failures back into the next cycle. That is how AI quality becomes a system property, not a slide. Common mistakes slow mature programs. Mistake 1: Treating freeform string equality as the only pass criterion. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 2: Running regressions only after production incidents. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 3: Ignoring tool and retrieval version changes in the suite. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. Mistake 4: Letting flaky judge scores invalidate the entire gate. Teams that skip this create silent risk that surfaces in production or audits. The antidote is discipline: small gold sets, explicit thresholds, change control, and monitoring that connects production incidents back to evaluation suites. Key takeaways for your team. Takeaway 1: Version baselines like code and treat prompt/model pins as release artifacts. Takeaway 2: Score behavior and policy, not just exact wording. Takeaway 3, attribute failures to a change class for fast rollback. Takeaway 4, separate smoke gates from deep nightly packs. Write these into your team wiki and release checklist so they survive staffing changes. Your next steps this week: pick 50 high-value gold cases and freeze them as V1 regression baselines. Then, add a hard gate for your top 3 policy-critical checks on every model or prompt change. Keep the artifacts, prompts, datasets, scores, approvals so you can defend the decision later. Where this fits the AiQualtest method, learn the foundations with AiVELabs, practice with hands-on cases, and validate with governed evaluation evidence. Visit aiqualtest.com and learn.aiqualtest.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for weekly AI quality, evaluation, and governance episodes.